Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play DuckTales for the Game Boy. In the last video, we beat the Himalayas, and we got pretty close to 8.5 million, and now it's time to go to the moon. You have the usual space octopi that move up and down. You have the cyborg ducks that fly in, drop down, and hop forward and punch you, or at least try to punch at you. And there's plenty of ice creams, and I didn't know that they were there. Also, if you know where to hop around at, you can get an invincibility medal. It's not going to do us that much good around here. Matter of fact, it's the only one that we can find in the game, and it'll only really last you until you get into the UFO at best. We also have the alien enemies. They're back again, which is awesome. You have the spikes. Don't want to jump into them from underneath, and you don't want to land on them either unless you're pogoing. And going over here allows us to find the way, but I wanted to go to the right first. Nice. What are you doing floating in midair? That was weird. Well, I'm glad I went left after all. I wanted to go to the right first, actually, because that's where I can find some treasure, too. And of course, as I said earlier, you want to make sure you're pogoing across the spikes so that way you don't land in them and take a dumb hit. And I lucked out on getting some treasure here. Got a little more than I expected. That'll make it a little bit easier to beat the game with 10 million. Alright, let's get you out of the way. And don't go left, that leads to nothing. Just head to the right. And we're going to knock the block into this guy. And then we're going to talk to Webby. There's a key inside the UFO. We can't go on without it. To the right is the wall leading to the remote control. But you'll need the UFO key first. That's why our friend Webby said we can't leave without it. Ow. And I don't want to take a lot of damage. I said I don't want to take a lot of damage because of the fact that there's only one place to heal, and that's up top. But we did manage to get a ice cream from a cyborg, so that's kind of cool, I guess. I forgot what is on this floor. I'm gonna wait on you. I said I'm going to wait on you. That was awful. And I do want to go in this direction because it's the key. We now have the key. Yeah, you want to leap into this wall here. Really? Ugh. I wanted to make sure I leapt onto that guy. And we made it. Somehow we made it. We made it to healing. And I want to go to the right even further, because that will take us to the hidden treasure, which I did want to get my hands on. Nice. Now, we are going to go further down. We're going to go back down. I believe this is the top of the thing. Yeah, it's the top, because I don't see any other way to go higher. And before I go to the right, I want to go further to the right here. Webby will be gone. And this wall will have changed, so it doesn't look like the rest of the wall. This will give you the remote control for Gizmo Duck, so we can blow away the wall, just like on NES. And apparently, I can't seem to drop through 1-inch gaps. Apparently, that we can now confirm that after having that happen to us in the African mines. And right, I have to go up and then to the right, because that's how we're going to get to our good friend Launchpad. I had to remember his name for a moment. And we are going to take the lift back to Duckburg, so that way we can more than ensure that we get 10 million. I mean, look at that. We're just $110,000 on the way there. Now, you're probably wondering, do we have to get the key in the remote again? And the answer is no, you don't have to. Which is awesome. So all we really need to worry about now is just getting to where we need to go. So we need to go back to where we found the remote, and yeah, I'd rather get stuff when I can, how I can. I want to make sure that I have more than 10 million by the time I leave. Though, I definitely will, thanks to the treasure that we're going to get when we beat the boss. Alright. This is where Webby was. We don't have to pick everything up again. And from here, we can leap to the right, off the spikes. We can get that if we need to. Get on Pogo to the platform. Pogo off the space octopi. Get that hidden diamond because we can do that. Because we can too. Great. English. And get away from me, you undesirable person. Alright. Get away from me again, you undesirable person. Okay, yeah, we got rid of the Beagle Boy. There's going to be a few more showing up where that came from. There's a cake if you need one. Apparently the Beagle Boy dropped a ice cream for good measure. Wait for him to drop down before hitting him. And from here, it's time to fight the giant space rat. And it's just the same as usual. 4 bops. Jump on his head when he's not flashing. Make sure he doesn't leap into you. And you should be good to go, and you should be able to get that moon cheese. And we now have $10 million. $11,461,000 here. Apparently that's enough to make us the richest in the world when, you know, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are a thing. And all land clear. The scepter, the medal, the diamond, the crown, and the cheese. They are taken away from us. And we want to get them back, we have to come to Dracula Duck Manor. Obvious mistranslation, but I love little mistranslations in old games from the 1980s and 1990s like this. So here's what we need to do. We're back in Transylvania. The places to go is mostly the same. We're not going to find anything around here, and any treasures we pick up here aren't going to count to our total, so why even get them? We just need to head to the left as soon as we climb up, and then we need to climb up again. Assuming that we can somehow get up to the rope. And I do not like this guy because you have to hit him and risk taking a hit in order to do so. Diamonds for no reason. Alright, after we drop down there, we need to go to the mirror on the right. And why am I taking damage? I shouldn't be taking damage. At all. Please tell me that I can find a way to heal around here. Because I would like that. No. How? Why? I am not liking my chances. If I take a death here, it'll be good. It'll be all good. And I thought that was an ice cream. I really was hoping that would be an ice cream. It was not an ice cream. And once again, just like last time, we have the duck under the ghost to let them pass. And then we'll face Dracula Duck this time. And I am taking damage when I shouldn't. And basically what you need to do, you just want to be up in the air. And then you land on the bat once it's horizontally lined up with you, and then you leap on Dracula Duck's head. It doesn't seem like you can hit him while he's flashing, but you can. And I'm leaping like that to ensure that I can hit the bat. And there's Magica and Flintheart Glomgold. We may have beaten Dracula Duck. We haven't beaten him yet. We just need to beat him to the treasure. That's all we have to do. So just pogo up to the rope. Once you grab up to latch on, keep on climbing. And just leap into the treasure chest, and you have beaten DuckTales for the Game Boy. And we've done it with over $10 million, which is excellent. And Scrooge remains the richest duck in the world. Daring explorer Scrooge McDuck has found the 5 legendary treasures, making him the richest duck in the world. I love how there's no space between Explorer and Scrooge just to keep everything on the Game Boy. And not make it look weird. Like, I have the feeling they were probably forced to do that. And if you press A, you'll go to the ending. Once again, our nephews are glad we found the treasures, but they're like, hey, don't forget we helped. Even though you did nothing and I did all the work. And Scrooge agrees. We get the DuckTales theme in all of its Game Boy splendor, and the game ends. So, Game Boy version of the game. It was pretty good for the time, pretty comparable to the home version on NES. It's not one-to-one perfect. There are a few nitpicks that I can make, such as the music not being as good as the NES version. Though, Capcom did try. They were working with a different system. What was I going to say? And, there were some things that I really didn't like, such as how to exit the minecarts. You're kind of forced to use one of them, and you have to hold up and forward and then jump in order to get out, which wasn't a thing in the NES version. I can't believe it was coded like that. It just felt kind of weird. And you didn't really just jump out. You just kind of phase out of it and then just drop down once you got out. I wish they fixed that before bringing this to retail. Other than that, the levels are kind of different. They're a little simpler, I want to think, compared to the NES versions. Yeah, they're definitely pared down so that way they can keep everything on the Game Boy. And of course, you still have the 3 difficulties. You still have all the treasures. You still have all the bosses. Gameplay feels a little different. You're kind of stuck in place for a second whenever you land from a jump, especially when you make like a pretty hard leap over a pit. And there are some other things involving the gameplay too, such as not being able to fit through one-tile gaps, and some treasures being impossible to get, like that one near the spider near the beginning of the Himalayas. If I didn't get rid of the spider, I probably would have been able to get to it, but no guarantee in getting back. But that's enough of the nitpicks. It's still a good game. The graphics look as good as they were on NES. Capcom got that down at least. Sound and music, again, not as good as the NES version. Capcom did give a bit of an effort, given that they were not as used to the Game Boy as they were to the NES, I want to think. Play control, about as good as it's gonna get. There are some weird things going on, such as the freezing for a second whenever you land after leaping across a pit or something. And there are some parts of the level design that are a bit hard to get through without getting hit. But otherwise, I didn't really have much of a problem in terms of play control, gameplay, level design, what have you. And of course, the minecarts. The less said about those, the better. And once you play through this game and beat it, which you'll probably do in about an hour or so, you won't have much reason to come back unless you want to waste time for about 30 minutes to an hour. You could probably beat this in about 30, 45 minutes to an hour. Still a fun game. Not as great as the NES version. There's still a few missteps, but it's still a worthy portable version for its time. Nowadays, you could probably just play the NES version portably, but if you ever wanted to check out the Game Boy version and see how it compares to the NES, it's not bad either. Capcom would get better with their Game Boy ports over time, I would believe. Little Mermaid being such an example. Darkwing Duck being nearly NES perfect. Of course, that jump in that game still bothers me. But this isn't bad at all. This is by no means terrible. It's probably there's probably a few missteps here and there, but again, still worth picking up. And that has been Let's Play DuckTales. Hopefully, I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be somewhere in between. And hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did. Maybe just a little bit more. Just a hoping. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.